Hello everyone, today we're going to talk about deathbed regrets and the 5 biggest regrets people have at the end of their life. Hello everyone, just recently I was doing some research and it was in regards to life and the best way to live and what people from experience seem to learn. And an article came up from Deathbed Notices. Now, someone very special to me in my life is a nurse, and I was naturally attracted to that article and I started reading about it. And basically it was a collection of information from deathbed nurses around the world. So hospice nurses, the nurses that really hang out with people when they're about to die. And a lot of times these people don't have any family or friends to confide in, and they'll talk to those nurses, and generally these nurses are incredible individuals who are very sympathetic and know how to deal with that the end of those people's lives. What these nurses have done is they've collected that information and they've generated the 5 top regrets that people have at the end of life. Now, I'm going to, as always, start with a quote, and that quote is from Benjamin Franklin. What a great dude. And his quote is, "Some people die at 25 and aren't buried till 75. What a great quote. Some people die at 25 and aren't buried until 75. Living your life is really important, not living for a long time. And a life well lived is different to a long life. We're not here to live for as long as we can. We're here to live as spectacularly and great as we can. And if we get heaps of years out of that, fantastic. But we're here to be divine sparks and to let our energy flow. And I love that quote because I see a lot of people, start to give up on life around that sort of age and just sort of not get a lot done until they're older. So we're going to talk about death and deathbed regrets. Deathbed regrets are really important to me because in life and psychologically, a lot of the time what we do is we have this sort of understanding that things will get better in the future, or we tell ourselves self-lies like, yeah, I won't work on my health because in the future I'll get a chance to do that. And it's a little bit of a lie, which means, is health important? Well, it's not important now, but it's important in the future. So how do we understand that? And that's the little lies that present, future and past give us. But when you're about to die, you can't say, I'll do this in the future. You can't say, I'll get around to that, because you're about to die. So the truth we're about to hear is really compelling and really avoids the pitfalls of a lot of the stories we hear, which involve future and past. I want to start with the concept of a rose. Quite often when I'm trying to help people I coach understand death, I talk to them about a plastic rose and whether they'd like a plastic rose, which will last forever for Valentine's Day, or would they like a real fresh rose? And every time the answer is, I'd like a real fresh rose. Now, interestingly, a lot of plastic roses, and I've seen them, look indistinguishable from real roses. And if a real rose is going to last forever, then why would you want, if a plastic rose is going to last forever, why would you ever want a real rose? And the beauty of that rose, therefore, it exists in the fact it will die. The fact it has an end date, there's an expiration date, is why the beauty is there. Things that are fresh, things that we know won't be here for a while, are things that we really appreciate. If you want to see someone for 10 minutes, you really make the most of that time if they're going to leave, versus someone you're going to hang around with for 10 hours. You might not experience the same sort of intensity. So death is important. It creates value to life. It is the bookend that creates value to the perspective of life. And I'm going to go through now what people say. This is scientific data collected by deathbed nurses on what they want to change, so we can change it now rather than getting to the same deathbed they are and saying the same things. So number 1, I wish I had the courage to live my true life and not the life that others expected of me. How many times do you hear me talk about living your authentic life? It's the key to what you need to do. Once again, I wish I had the courage to live a true, authentic life, not the life others expected of me. Quite often we're always trying to please other people. We're trying to do the things that they would want, the things that they think that we should be doing. I'll give you, 2 hints. 1, you can't please them. What you do is not going to please them. They've got their own lives to live with, their own complexities. And 2, that is not the way to happiness. Your heart is driving you to a place. You've got to follow that place, and that's where happiness lies. That's why your heart's driving you there. It's not doing it because it wants to create a disconnect between what your current situation is and what you should be doing. It's driving you there. Let it drive you there. Otherwise, you'll be living someone else's life, your parents' lives, your boss's lives, your friends' lives. Don't live that life. They can't live it for you. You have to live your life. 2, I wish I didn't work so hard. This is an interesting one because it's what people said, and we live in a culture where that doesn't sound so great. But I'd rather listen to people about to die than a culture that tells us a lot of fibs a lot of times. I wish I didn't work so hard. I see people all the time working for things that they don't need, don't want, to impress people they don't like. I hear all the time that, I see people working for retirement. I hear all the time, working hard to build my superannuation for retirement. You're working hard to get old and have bad knees and a bad prostate and a bad back. Don't work for that. I wish I didn't work so hard, I think really strikes at the core of people using their time wisely. Doesn't mean you shouldn't work, it just means it should be well balanced. Number 3, I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. Boom, 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 boom. I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. That goes back to number 1 of living your true life. Your feelings are your conduits to your true self. When you want something or you desire something, you should express that. When you feel a certain way about something, you should express that. It's not supposed to just live inside you and boil over. It's a driving force. It's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to be great. And people aren't always going to love what you're going to tell them when you come from your heart and from your feelings. But if you don't express it, you'll bottle them up and you'll live a resentful life. So if you feel some way, express it. It doesn't mean that you have to act on it. But once you express it, people understand you better and they can live within that understanding of how you feel about something. Number 4, I wish I stayed in touch with my friends. I wish I stayed in touch with my friends. We get too busy for friends. And when you get too busy for friends, you're really getting too busy for life. Because what are you too busy doing? If you're too busy working, and the number 2 regret is working too hard, you really need to make time for your friends. Those people who come into your life and create value. Doesn't mean that, you need to look up all your year 8 mates and from your yearbook and call them. It just means that the people that you're closest to, you need to constantly keep that relationship fresh and beautiful and experience that human connectivity, which is the heart of happiness. Stay in touch with your friends. And number 5, it's really incredible, but it came up on the survey of what people said on their deathbed. I wish I had let myself be happier. Take a breath. I'm going to say that again. I wish I had let myself be happier. I think as you get older and you're about to die, certainty creeps in. I think that you connect with certainty. And I think that's one of the most powerful statements I've ever heard. People don't let themselves be happy. And when you say, Brad, that's a bit crazy, it's not crazy because I hear it all the time. I'll be happy once I get that promotion. I'll be happy when we get this car sorted out. I'll be happy once, the relationship picks up. You're constantly creating roadblocks. You're creating these things that don't even exist and putting them into your way of happiness when you could just let yourself be happy. Let things go. Let people go. Let relationships that aren't working go. Let the need for more go. And be happy and let yourself be happy. And I think these individuals so close to death really started to look back on their life and understand that the miserable, unhappy situations they were in were generally when they were grasping at things and bringing unhappiness into their life, when they had happiness the whole time. Marcus Aurelius, the great Roman general who used to live in a tent when all these other Roman emperor mates were eating grapes off prostitutes, used to say that you need nothing to be happy except life. And I think people understand this at the end of their life. Constantly bringing new things in, more, the better dishwasher, the better this, the better holiday, comparing yourself to others. You're bringing roadblocks into human happiness. You were born with the divine right to be happy. Yet so many people die saying that they wish they had let themselves be more happy. So incredible insights from Deathbed Nurses. I really respect the nursing profession. It's an incredible profession. To all the nurses out there watching, thank you. And I hope that you learn from an experiential level from these lessons, because I can deliver them in a video, but I'm sure hearing them is much more powerful. So don't deliver these things on your deathbed. Don't say things like, I wish I had the courage to live my true life, not the ones that others expected of me. Don't say things like, I wish I didn't work so hard, or I wish I didn't express my feelings, or I wish I did express my feelings. Say things like you hadn't been in touch with your friends, or you wish you'd let yourself be happier. Now that we know these things, we don't need to say this on our deathbed. We can start making the steps now to create a true, authentic, incredible life where there'll be no regrets on our deathbed. It'll be a party, it'll be crazy, it'll be like National Lampoons. That's what you want on your deathbed. You don't want regrets. Thank you and goodbye. don't close down the video. I put on a suit and everything. There's more videos. Just click one of the links here to see the next video. And I look forward to seeing you on my YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or Pinterest. Thank you and see you soon.